I helped catch a killer today.
Well, congratulations.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're discussing the life and crimes of the notorious Ed Gein that inspired Netflix's third installment of Monster. Spoilers ahead for all 8 episodes.
It's not right.
You're the one can't look away.
Ed Gein and modern horror.
Don't break my heart, Eddie.
I won't, Mother.
Only a mother could love you.
In 1957, a small Wisconsin town was blindsided by the horrific discoveries in the home of Ed Gein, later dubbed the Butcher of Plainfield. Netflix's latest season of Monster explores how he inspired numerous villains and slashers in a variety of media.
I had to cast you, Anthony. You're like him.
In the series, we start to follow Alfred Hitchcock as he works with Robert Bloch to adapt his 1959 novel Psycho. The author has repeatedly stated he didn't base the character of Norman Bates on Ed Gein, but the show makes it seem like he thoroughly researched the man.
Gein had a secret. A sexual dysfunction he could not express, and his inability to express his version of the sexual act turned inwards and transformed into sickness.
Like others that'd follow, Hitchcock only used some elements of Gein's story, notably the disturbing, unhealthy mother-son relationship.
The devil works in mysterious ways. He blinded you. He tricked you.
What do you mean?
Venereal disease.
When he was young, Toby Hooper heard about a grave robber in Wisconsin who crafted furnishings using human remains. Along with other influences and ideas, this shocking true story partially inspired 1974's horror classic, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I'm not making the movie this country wants. I'm making the movie it deserves. They created it. The ugliness, the violence, the cruelty, the depravity.
The influential film depicts a group of road-tripping friends who are subjected to a deranged cannibal clan and chainsaw-wielding killer Leatherface.
Hello!
Although Monster doesn't show as much behind the scenes as the previous films, serial killer Buffalo Bill from The Silence of the Lambs also shares similarities with Gein, like an obsession with human skin and wearing women's clothes. A tragic upbringing.
First, an evil son who humiliates his mother and is determined to drag us all to hell. And then I got you, a son so prone to all manner of weakness who seems set on breaking his mother's heart.
Born in La Crosse County, Wisconsin on August 27, 1906, Edward Theodore Gein was the youngest of George and Augusta Gein's 2 sons. Augusta raised Ed and his brother Henry under her extreme religious beliefs and negative views on women, purposely keeping them isolated on their Plainfield property.
No, sir. You go. Get out. Now. You already broke my heart, so don't make it worse by dragging it out.
I don't want to leave you, Mother.
Well, you already have.
George struggled with substance use and often physically harmed his sons. After he died of heart failure in April 1940, the boys worked all over town doing odd jobs as handymen.
Where you been? Oh, Mother's gonna whip you when she sees you.
No. Edward. Only one lets mother whip him's you.
Unlike Ed, Henry didn't develop an obsession with their mother and didn't want to live on the farm forever. In the first episode of Monster, Henry tells Ed that he's getting married and encourages him to break free of the domineering Augusta, too.
You need to get out of here, too. Mother is sick. She's a sick woman, and...
Shut your mouth.
No, I won't.
I don't want to hear about that.
Ed.
Don't talk like that about her.
Ed hits him with a log, killing him instantly. To cover it up, he starts burning away marsh vegetation, moves Henry's body, and claims he's missing.
What's all the shouting for?
Fire got out of control. I can't find Henry. He was here. You try to find him. I'll go into town for help.
No, I'll fetch the police. You go find him, Eddie.
When he's found, the coroner concludes that he died of asphyxiation. Despite long-held speculation, it was never proven that Ed intentionally killed Henry. In the 1989 biography, Deviant, the shocking true story of the original Psycho, author Harold Schechter alleged that Henry's head had bruises. However, no autopsy was performed, and Ed later denied any involvement.
You're right about Mother. She's a good woman. I'll make it right with her.
Soon after Henry's death on May 16, 1944, Augusta suffered a debilitating stroke. Ed cared for her by himself until she had another stroke, then passed away on December 29, 1945.
For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over.
Becoming the Butcher of Plainfield. Over the span of 5 years, Ed Gein lost his whole immediate family. However, the devastating death of his mother likely hit him the hardest.
May the Lord forgive you for cursing.
Hush up, Sally. It's the right. It's gonna die anyway.
This is a house of filth. She is an unwed harlot.
He lived all alone on the secluded farm, in a house without plumbing or electricity, letting his surroundings become more dilapidated and unkempt. Living in isolation, consuming pulp magazines and comic books about convicted war criminal Ilse Koch, aka the Bitch of Buchenwald. It's believed he was inspired by her alleged affinity for using the skin of Jewish prisoners to make lampshades.
Gein would return the bones to the graves sometimes when he was done with them. But this means that he was,
What?
he was stripping the flesh from the bodies.
Ed began going to cemeteries at night, where he'd dig up the bodies of the recently deceased, specifically middle-aged women who reminded him of his mother, using their remains to make a, quote, woman suit. On December 8, 1954, Ed Gein committed his first murder, shooting local tavern owner Mary Hogan and bringing her body home.
I haven't seen you around.
Well,
What's bothering you?
oh, just girl trouble.
He went on to rob more graves, creating more face masks and bizarre furnishings to fill the house. On the morning of November 16, 1957, Gein shot hardware store owner Bernice Worden.
Thought I had a chance of another life with you, Ed. Oh, you reminded me of him. Same face, same rippling arms. Oh, makes me weak.
Later in the day, her son, Deputy Sheriff Frank Worden, stopped by the store, where he found blood and the last receipt she wrote, which was for Gein. In episode 4 of Monster, Ed Gein and Bernice Worden go on a date and hook up at her house, and later talk about him moving in.
This has been just magical. I haven't skated in years. You make me feel like a girl again.
You are a girl. I like it too.
He likes that she indulges in his secret hobby of wearing ladies' underwear, but after returning to his empty home, he's scolded by a hallucination of his mother, who convinces him to abandon the sudden plans.
So go run to her, Eddie, your devil bride. Put a demon in that old dusty womb. Brush the cobwebs off her saggy dugs. Make the beast with 2 backs with your syphilitic bride.
There is no evidence suggesting Gein and Worden had a torrid love affair before he killed her. Episode 6 centers Deputy Worden and Sheriff Schley discovering the horrific state of Gein's home and his disturbing collection of human remains.
Mother wouldn't have nothing to do with that.
The body of Bernice Worden is found by her son. When Gein pulls up to the house, the deputy assaults him in a fit of rage.
What did you do to her? Right, how did you do to her?
In reality, he was apprehended at a store in West Plainfield, and it was Sheriff Schley who assaulted Gein. When Gein was first arraigned on November 21st, he entered a not guilty plea, quote, by reason of insanity.
There's a reason that you hear voices. There's a reason that you see things that aren't there. Or you can't remember things you did and you worry that you did things you didn't do.
He was deemed unfit for trial, sent to the maximum security Central State Hospital in Waupun, and diagnosed with schizophrenia. It would be a decade before his second trial for Worden's murder. On November 14, 1968, Judge Robert H. Golmar found him not guilty by reason of insanity and recommitted him to Central State.
It doesn't matter if I get better or if I get worse. Nobody cares. It's just punishment. That's part of the punishment, isn't it?
Gein would later move to Mendota State Hospital, where he spent his remaining days, dying at 77 years old on July 26, 1984. Myths and misconceptions. Contrary to popular belief, Ed Gein was not a serial killer. Although he's suspected of more, he only confessed to 2 murders, not meeting the definition's minimum of 3 victims.
I think that the murders of the tavern keeper Mary Hogan and Bernice Warden, who ran the local hardware store, were his only homicides.
He also wasn't a cannibal, and although the series shows him engaging in post-mortem activities, Gein always maintained that he never had sex with his victims, or the several bodies he exhumed.
Ed, I gotta ask you, did you eat them?
No. No, I couldn't swear to that. I don't think so.
After his arrest, Gein was questioned about a missing girl named Evelyn Grace Hartley, who was abducted from her babysitting job in La Crosse County on October 24, 1953. But Hartley didn't fit his MO, and there was no proof they crossed paths. The series, however, sees Gein's disastrous first-time babysitting, subsequently blaming Hartley for taking his job and motivating him to stalk and kidnap her, adding her remains to his house of horrors.
I mean, you really did it, didn't you?
What did I do?
You took my job! My babysitting job! Who's gonna pay for my wedding with that job? Now what?
The sheriff also mentions the 1947 disappearance of Georgia Jean Weckler and 2 hunters, Victor Harold Travis and Raymond Burgess, who went missing near the Gein farm in 1952.
2 hunters disappeared. Victor Travis, Raymond Burgess, did you kill them?
I don't believe so.
You have newspaper clippings about them.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's true that he was briefly a suspect in all 3 cases and eventually cleared. And no, he did not chase them, or anyone with a chainsaw. One of Monster's major departures from reality is Gein's alleged romance with Adeline Watkins, an aspiring crime scene photographer and his only friend, besides his mom. The 2 share morbid interests, and it's implied that she introduced him to comic books and photos of Nazi atrocities. They go on dates, and eventually he pops the question in a nighttime picnic in the local cemetery.
Will you marry me? Oh no, I shouldn't have done this.
No. I was just surprised.
However, the real Adeline Watkins told a different story. In an interview with the Minneapolis Tribune just days after his arrest, she claimed to have had a 20-year relationship with Ed Gein, though turned down a marriage proposal in February 1955.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Just like it says in the Bible. Nothing human disgusts me. I think if a human can do it, it's fascinating.
But she tried to set the record straight just a couple weeks later, telling the Stevens Point Journal they only saw each other between 1954 and 1955. Showrunner/director Max Winkler explained that her prominent presence in the series was to give Ed someone to talk to, since he led such an insular life.
Can I be honest with you? Can I tell you something honest?
What? What?
You're too warm.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
In the media. Ed Gein may be the most influential killer in pop culture, but his real story hasn't been as discussed or depicted as others like Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer.
This is a skull.
Oh yes, it is. He made it into a bowl, ate every meal out of it.
In 1974's Deranged, the Gein-inspired Ezra Cobb becomes a serial killer after his fanatical mother's demise. The cult classic features much more graphic acts of violence than Gein committed, along with digging up his mother's remains.
But if I untie you, you'll try something.
No, I won't. I promise.
2000's In the Light of the Moon is a mostly accurate biopic starring Steve Railsback as Gein. However, the film shows him gifting his neighbors meat that he claims is venison, something the real Gein reportedly did not do.
I hope you're hungry, because I've been a-cooking.
I sure am. Smells good.
Actor and stuntman Kane Hodder stepped into the role of Gein for the 2007 direct-to-video release Ed Gein, the Butcher of Plainfield. While the film is fairly accurate, it depicts Gein as an aggressive spree killer, not the timid loner he was often described as.
Is there anything else I can help you with before I add this all up?
No, I got everything I need.
Got some rope. Wire. That's a fine-looking pickaxe, Mr. Gein.
Aside from the 2010 comedy Ed Gein the Musical, he also influenced a few grunge and metal rock bands, including Slayer, Tad, Blind Melon, and Mudvayne.
Surrounded by an old friend, and yet I'm treated like a rural mannequin.
Netflix's Monster, the Ed Gein story hit the platform on October 3, 2025, and much like most Ryan Murphy-produced projects, it promptly stirred up controversy. Casting actor Charlie Hunnam as the Wisconsin murderer had fans skeptical of his portrayal.
Things are going to change around here. When I bring a friend to meet you, you say hello!
Don't you tell me what to do.
With so little known about Gein compared to others, showrunner Ian Brennan had to embellish a lot, adding fantasy sequences, a love interest, and more than a few lurid actions that Gein is not known to have committed.
I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, Mary.
It's all right.
You're actually nothing like her.